All right, let's dive right in. Today, we are unpacking the story from the absolute epicenter of the AI revolution. From an investor's point of view, one company is sending a signal so massive, it's unlike almost anything we've seen in the tech infrastructure space. This is a big one.
So let's just start with a number. $66.8 billion. Just let that sink in for a second. This is a staggering figure that just came out of a cloud company called CoreWeave. And a number this big, well, it needs some explaining. So what in the world does this $67 billion figure actually represent? And, more importantly for anyone trying to understand this market, why is it a sign of a massive tectonic shift in how this whole AI gold rush is actually being built?
Okay, so here's the answer. That number is CoreWeave's contracted revenue backlog. Now, what does that mean? Put simply, it's money that's already on the books. It's the total value of long-term deals from customers who are locking in their access to CoreWeave's specialized AI computing power. The critical thing to get here is that this isn't just a hopeful projection, it's pre-sold demand. So let's break down the 4 pillars that actually make a number like this even possible.
First up, the demand. And we're not just talking about regular demand, we're talking about an absolutely insatiable, relentless hunger for AI compute power. I mean, you can't get to a multi-billion-dollar backlog unless people are lining up to buy. And what's really interesting is who is doing the buying.
See, it's not just one niche corner of the market. You've got the biggest cloud providers on the planet, the hyperscalers, coming to CoreWeave for capacity. You've got the AI-native pioneers, companies you've definitely heard of, like Midjourney and Runway. And then you have huge global companies, like the e-commerce giant Mercado Libre. This kind of customer diversity tells you that the need for this stuff is incredibly broad and seriously deep.
And don't expect this to slow down anytime soon. CoreWeave CEO Michael Trader says the signals they're seeing are only intensifying. Think about it. As AI models get smarter and way more complex, and as more and more companies jump on the AI bandwagon, the need for this specialized infrastructure, it's just going to keep exploding.
Okay, so the demand is off the charts. We get it. But can you actually build fast enough to keep up? That brings us to our second pillar, execution. And we're talking about building at a speed and scale that is, frankly, almost unbelievable.
Just look at the numbers. By the end of 2025, CoreWeave expects to be running 43 active data centers. That's a huge jump from the 32 they had at the start of the same year.
And get this, in the last 3 months of 2025 alone, they plan to switch on 260 megawatts of new power. For anyone who follows the data center industry, that pace is just wild.
But they're not stopping there. The goal for the end of 2026 is even crazier, more than doubling their total capacity to over 1.7 times gigawatts of active power. This isn't just growth, folks. This is hyper-growth on a whole other level.
Now, to really wrap your head around the scale here, chew on this estimate from a third party. CoreWeave, right now, is bigger than the next 15 largest specialized cloud providers in North America and Europe combined. That one stat says it all about their dominant position.
Of course, you can't have a conversation about AI infrastructure without talking about the one and only NVIDIA. And this is CoreWeave's third pillar, an incredibly deep strategic alliance with the chipmaker that gives them a huge advantage, both technologically and financially.
And look, this is so much more than your standard customer relationship. We're talking about NVIDIA investing $2 billion directly into CoreWeave. NVIDIA is validating CoreWeave's entire platform for its own ecosystem, which means CoreWeave gets to be first in line for the next generation of chips. They've even been given this special exemplar cloud status for NVIDIA's monster GB200 superchip. This partnership is the real deal.
So, how on earth do you pay for all this? Building data centers at this pace costs an astronomical, eye-watering amount of money. And that brings us to the fourth and final pillar, a really disciplined and clever financial model that's designed for exactly this kind of hypergrowth.
So first, a quick term, capital expenditure, or CapEx. You've probably heard it before. It's just the money a company spends on physical stuff. In CoreWeave's case, all those GPUs, servers, and buildings that are literally the engines of the AI economy. Their planned CapEx for 2026, a breathtaking $30 to $35 billion. That's projected to be more than double what they spent in 2025. Now, from an investor's perspective, a number like that would normally be terrifying if it wasn't for their unique financial model.
And here's the genius of it. Step 1, they sign those long-term multi-billion-dollar contracts we talked about earlier. Step 2, they take those contracts to lenders and get financing against that guaranteed future revenue. Step 3, they use that money to go build the infrastructure. And step 4, they start generating predictable, durable cash flow. It's a beautiful cycle that directly ties their massive spending to pre-sold guaranteed demand. It's incredibly smart.
So let's pull all this together. What's the big picture takeaway here? Well, for any investor watching this space, the entire CoreWeave strategy is really about one thing: de-risking the AI gold rush.
So when you look at the bull case for CoreWeave, it really sits on these 4 incredibly strong pillars we just walked through. You've got relentless demand from all corners of the market. You've got an execution engine that's building at a historic pace. You have that critical partnership with NVIDIA giving them a tech edge. And you have a disciplined, de-risked financial model that backs up every dollar of spending with a dollar of contracted revenue.
So you see, they aren't just selling shovels in this AI gold rush. They're building the mines themselves, and they're financing it with the gold that's already been promised. It's a powerful model. And it leaves us with one final fascinating question to think about. As CoreWeave lays down the foundational plumbing for an entire AI-powered world, what incredible new applications, businesses, and breakthroughs are going to be built on top of it all?